My name is K Vyshemirska. I am a partner of the company Business Process Technologies, and today I want to talk about a very interesting topic, everything and even more about web wellness and life expert mode. I know that you all love our series of web wellness devices. Today's topic is testing device, life expert and life expert profi. Let's see the difference and let's talk about it. So, in today's world, modern information technology gives us fantastic opportunities. We can quickly receive information from thousands of kilometers away. We can see, we can hear, and even participate in what is happening around the world. We do not write letters anymore. We use internet, we write emails, and we do video calls. However, with all this technology, I think that we are still poorly informed about our health, what is going inside of our body. But do not worry about it. I have very good news. The time has come to switch to new technologies in the health sphere. I want to present you these two devices, Life Expert Profi and Life Expert. The devices Life Expert Profi and Life Expert work in conjunction with a web wellness application and with the possibility of automated processing of the measurements through a powerful company server, as you have seen on the video, to access the state of individual health of every person. I want to make clear some things because this can be really confusing. On the picture on the screen, you can see Life Expert as blue and Life Expert Profi as red color, right? So Life Expert device can be used only in the Life Expert mode, and Life Expert Profi device can be used in Life Expert Professional mode and in Life Expert mode. So the customers decide how they want to use the device. Life Expert Professional has a lot of possibilities. It can be used by doctors, and rapid tests can be done by anybody. If you want to do the rapid test, you won't be able to read all the information without training, without reading the manuals. In Life Expert mode, the difference is that you don't need to be trained. No training is required. I think that during this webinar, I will explain you about the system, about Life Expert mode. And this is the only training you can assist if you wish to know how to operate Life Expert mode. We will talk about Life Expert Profi a little bit further, but I want you to make it clear that Life Expert Professional can be used in both modes, and Life Expert only in Life Expert mode. The device Life Expert is not a medical product and cannot be used to confirm the diagnosis and diseases. Life Expert device helps us to identify the weak points, the predisposition of specific organs to the disease, and the severity of risks at the moment of the measurement. This gives us opportunity to know the resources of our body, its strengths, and its energy level. Regular testing, if the tests are done very often, allows us to see the dynamics, the process of work of individual organs and the whole organism. So it's better to run the tests more often. The principle of the device is to measure the parameters. The principle of the device is to measure the parameters of electrical conductivity in biologically active points on the principle of 6-quadrant leads by the Dr. Reinhold Wolf on the arms, legs, and head. Those who are not familiar with Dr. Wolf and his 6-quadrant leads method, they can search online to find more information. Basically, on this picture, we can see the person, and this is how our test is done by measuring the electroconductivity from all the active points. Why these points, you can ask me? Because their projection is related to various zones, organs, and systems in the body. Some more interesting information. Life Expert, yes, this was already told before, so let's go. Who can use this device? Life Expert or Life Expert Profi in Life Expert mode. Any person to control the health and to do the selection of drugs, foods, etc., cosmetics, for example. a partner of any company working with dietary supplements, because the supplements can be tested and the samples of the supplements can be delivered to the company totally for free, added to our database, which is very amazing. And the doctors can use Life Expert mode for preliminary diagnosis to see what's going on with the person's body, then to know which analysis he wants the person to do according to the results of the test. Okay, so this is a screenshot how the program looks like. It's very difficult to show something on this small screen in the webinar room. I will try to show you the application right now for those who still hasn't downloaded it on the laptop. I will try to show it to you and then I will describe it in the next pictures of our presentation. Let me log in and I will connect you to my screen. Okay, so let's try. I want to show you how does it work. I will share my desktop with you. Let me know if you can see my desktop. I will briefly just show you the interface of the program so that you understand what we will be talking about. So this is the program. Here you can see Life Expert or Life Expert Professional mode. Right now we are in Life Expert mode. In the registry, we choose a patient who we want to check. Today we will be checking this one. Then in the rapid test, we run the test, we run our express testing and send it for processing. In the matching preparations, we can see how different foods, how different supplements affect on our body by making a test in this section. And above, you can see different analyses. We will describe them right now. I will just briefly show you the surface. It's impossible to put everything into the presentation. It's possible to see everything in a digital mode or to generate a report printed out immediately from the application or to send it to the email address. Everything is very intelligent. You can click everywhere to open the organs and systems. Click on everything basically, which is clickable here. So these are some pictures which I want to show you just so you have a general idea about the application. Okay. Okay, I can see that it's not showing up. Let me return to the presentation then. I will make a video instruction with this program where everyone will be able to see the software. Let's return to our presentation. So basically, this is the software. On top, we have the menu where we run the test, we choose a patient, and below we have analysis, different types of analysis we can do. Let's see a little bit closer the analysis which can be done. Okay, so these are the devices and the analysis which can be done. We can see general condition of the system consulting the functional state of 47 organs and system. On the general condition of the system, on the diagram we will see the diagrams of 47 organs. Spine. Spine makes the projection, the state of organs on the vertebra. So basically this is almost the same as the diagram of 47 organs and systems, but on the spine, because we know that Everything is connected to our body. The operation of our organs and systems can influence on our spine. And opposite, if we have the disc displacement, it can influence on our organs and systems which are connected to this disc. Everything is connected. Chakras. Chakras allows finding the relation between the emotional and characterological type of the tested person. Auragram. Auragram is basically an interpretation of the report on 47 organs and systems in the form of a circular chart as an auragram. Then the probable affections allows us to see the toxins of various parasites and their probability in our body. Suppose changes in the body, it's very easy, you will see it in the presentation. Everything that can be possible in our body, the processes that are probably presented in our body due to the test results. Biological age. This panel shows the real age, biological age, the difference between biological and real age, as well as the coefficient of aging. If we don't change anything in our lifestyle, this will be the coefficient of aging. And the vitamin section reflects the probability of vitamin assimilation by the body. It is very important to know some basic things before we run the test, but people very often forget about it. I want to remind you, it is very important to make a test approximately at the same time and at the same emotional condition. Why? Because our body changes, our organs change their abilities throughout the day. We can be in different emotional condition, like for example, there is a huge difference if you run the test in the morning when you wake up and when you come back from a hard working day. And this influence on our organism, it has a direct connection with our organism. So it's very important to make the test at the same time at the same emotional condition. The second one, we need to pay attention to those conditions which are the same from time to time. So we run the test today, tomorrow, in a week. Some things will change definitely, but some of them will remain the same. Conditions that change are temporary, depending on the current energy, organs, and systems balance. What else is important? Before the measurement, it is forbidden to take dietary supplements during the day, drugs, alcohol. About alcohol, it's even recommended for 2 or 3 days before. So it's better to run the test before you take any supplements or pills, because the pills also affect on the organs and systems, which I will explain to you later. And alcohol, better even for 2 or 3 days, because the alcohol remains in our body. In 2 hours before the measurement, you shouldn't eat or drink coffee or strong tea or to smoke. But at the same time, you need to, when you run the test, you shouldn't be hungry. If you run the test at 2 p.m. and you didn't eat anything throughout the day, it's not good. You need to eat something approximately in 2 hours before the measurement. This is the perfect condition. The next important thing is water. You can see here on the screen, I will not read all these numbers and everything. You can see everything on the screen, but it's very important to drink water using bioresonance technology. When you run the test, it allows us to get rid of the toxins which can block the result. It allows us to clean the toxins and what the parasites do with our body. When we do the life balance device, the water just allows us to keep the organism clean. Some other important preparations, what should be done right before you run the test. The skin to electrode contact should be very good. So what does it mean? The forehead, hands, and the feet of the patient should be clean. Remove the excess sweat, makeup, and different creams. The person should be clean of all of this. Do not take measurements in the surface of the skin on which the electrodes are applied to the irritated zones. So if the person has open wounds, ulcers, we shouldn't do the test. We need to wait a little bit until this irritation is done, or if it's possible, if it's forehead zone, for example, just to move a little bit the electrode so that it's not touching the irritated skin. You need to clean the electrodes well with the cleaning agent, preferably with a soap solution or an antiseptic. Many people use antiseptic, and me too. Before testing, it is necessary to remove all the jewelry, metal objects, and the mobile phone should be removed. You shouldn't put it to the other side of the apartment or your office, but you shouldn't talk to anybody while you run the test, and the device should be a little bit away. And before making a test, you need to ask yourself, if you are testing yourself or the person you are testing, does he have any complaints? Did he have any surgery before in his life? Does he have diabetes, blood pressure problem, or any other problem, serious diseases? It's very important because, as I told before, this life expert mode for diagnostic is not for professionals. It's not like life expert profile where you can see what exactly is going on with the person. With life expert, we guess, we look at the development, at the trend of our tests to make the conclusion, and we look at our organs and systems state. So it's very important to know the complaints you or the person have. I will tell you in the next pictures of the presentation how it's important for us. So how to read the reports, some information which we are waiting for, because this is the most important in using the device. Run the test is easy, but then you need to read the report, which is also easy. Trust me, after this video, everything will be easy for you. So this is the first analysis, which is general condition of systems. On the top, you can see the date of the test. You can do comparison mode if more than one test have been run. You can do the comparison mode in all of the sections of the analysis, basically. But right now, I want to stop my attention on the most important characteristics. Something that you cannot read yourself, probably without watching this video. So we can see the pH. Unbalanced coefficient internal system pH. Right now, for this person, it says neutral. Do you know if it's good or no? Right, I have written everything already on the screen, so it's very easy to know, and I will explain you why. Neutral pH is good. Acid pH is very bad. A bit alkaline pH is also good, but if it's very, very, very alkaline, this is also bad for the body. A little bit above, you can see the systems of the body. Unfortunately, as I told you, that the application is pretty big, so everything doesn't get to this small picture, but I will tell you everything in details, do not worry. So we can see 4 systems. All of them are green and one of them is blue. What does it mean? It means that the circulatory system, the first one, the third one, digestive and urinary system, are in its perfect condition, normal, green. Green, this is perfect. The bronchopulmonary system is in hypofunction. What does it mean? Let's see on the next pictures. First, I want to stop your attention on pH because some people, they don't recognize the importance of it. So have you ever thought if your diet is acid or alkaline? Because pH can be regulated basically by the food you eat. And what is the ideal pH of the body? The ideal pH of our blood for optimal health is around 7.35, which is neither too acid or too alkaline. It's neutral. as we have seen on the picture that the person had a neutral pH. An acidic environment is considered the perfect setting for illnesses and diseases to thrive in, because all the parasites, they live very good in the uh, acid environment. So just eating the acid food, we help the parasites to get to all our body. If pH is acid, the body also takes water from everywhere in order to help alkalize the body, which is very important and people do not recognize it. As a result, we face insomnia, osteoporosis, high level of stress, and moreover, the minerals are being washed out with this water from our body. So we make our body lose the important minerals as well. How to alkalify pH? It's very easy. It's done with a diet. This topic is very amply. I can talk about it for hours, but in this webinar, it's not so important. I want just to show you some food which is alkaline, which you should have more in your diet, and some food which is acid, which is very bad for the body in big amounts. So alkaline food, beet greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, bananas, sweet potato, mango, kiwi, carrots, celery, cauliflower, cherries, eggplant, pears, hazelnut, pineapple, zucchini, strawberries, apples, watermelon, and citric fruits like lemons, limes, and yes, all the citric fruits. Acid food. What is acid? What is bad for our pH? Grains, sugar, certain dietary products, fish, processed food, fresh meat and processed meat, such as corn, beef, and turkey, sodas and other sweetened beverages, and high-protein foods and supplements. So basically, people do not recognize, but we can see that fish and meat, they are not very good in big amounts. So if you're a lover of meat or fish every day, 3 times a day, maybe if you want to have a good pH level, if you want to have it neutral or a little bit alkalize it, I suggest you to just make the consumption of it a little bit lower. Okay, let's return to general condition of the system. This is the second part. When we roll down the page, what we can see. The second important system I want to pay attention to is a type of vegetative nervous system. There are two types, sympathetic and parasympathetic. I just want to tell you briefly what it means. I will not pay a lot of attention because this is not a seminar for the doctors. This is not any training for the doctors. So let's just see what does it mean. Nervous system. Sympathetic type of the nervous system means energy. So this part of the brain is active during the day. So when you run the test in the morning, most probably you will have it sympathetic. Parasympathetic dominates in the evening. This is basically everything I wanted to talk to you about. And right now I want to pay more attention to the colors on the diagram. For example, on this diagram, you can see green color, blue color. There are many colors, and I want to explain you what does it mean before we look at our diagram. Okay. Here we can see the diagram. I just wanted to show you that there are more colors, and right now let's see how we can read them. Okay, colors range. It can be red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, dark blue, and violet. Sorry if my pronunciation is not so perfect because the turquoise color, it seems very difficult for me to pronounce. So what it means, apart from green and to yellow, red, and orange, this is hyperfunction of organs and systems. And from green to turquoise, blue, dark blue, and violet, it talks about hypofunction. Red and orange color can significate about autoimmune processes, allergic processes, acute toxic loss, acute inflammatory processes of bacterial nature and fungi nature. Yellow range tells us that about the functional tension and about poor pathological processes. Basically, if we do not do anything with the repeated yellow colors on the with our organs and systems, they will turn to red and orange in future if we do not do anything. We need to pay attention and do not allow the yellow color to rise to orange and red. This is important. So it tells us that there is already some tension, but that the process is very poor in the way to hyperfunction. Then green color is normal. It's normal value for all the organs and systems. Turquoise range, it talks about functional consumption, poor pathological processes, but in the direction to hyperfunction. If this color turns to blue, dark blue, and violet, we need to pay attention so that it doesn't go to this range. At least we need to keep it turquoise or green. So blue, dark blue, and violet range. It tells us about chronic processes. If it's inflammation, it's chronic inflammatory process. Chronic intoxication by helminths, by, for example, such diseases as diabetes, can show a lot of blue color, and cancer as well, chronic liver, kidney diseases, different metabolic syndrome. Also, we can talk about oxygen starvation. If the color is hyperfunction, blue, dark blue, or violet, we talk about oxygen starvation. Viral and or fungi processes mode. So we read everything. You don't need to remember all of this right now. This presentation will be available on YouTube later, where you can pause it and read again. Do not worry, and we can return to this picture later if needed. Let's see the diagram, since already we talked about the colors, and we can see what does the person have. I told you in the beginning that it's very important to ask the complaints. What are the complaints of the person? Because as you can see on this picture, on this diagram, you can see the organic structure of the organs. You need to pay attention to the organs that are now marked with green. And these organs have a certain level of hyper or hyperfunction. Let's see the complaints of the person. The person has problems with knees, especially the right one, and digestive problems. These are all the symptoms that the person has. So all these blue colors that are light blue, they look like blue on this picture, but they are turquoise, so they are very close to green. It means that there is just a small process in the body, small pathological process. This color may go to a dark blue or may not, because this is almost normal. We see a lot of orange lines which talk us about inflammation, and we see two blue lines, dark blue lines. So let's pay attention first to the orange lines. 46, 47, these are legs of joints on the right and legs of joints on the left. The numbers above talk about the corridor of the percentage for the organs and systems, because how the device decides when it should be green, when it should be orange, when it should be blue. It measures the numbers, and every organ has its own corridor of normal percentage. And these numbers, we can see them above. But basically, since we are not doctor, we do not need to complicate the life. We just look at the colors because the device has already calculated everything for us. But if you want to see this in the manuals, in the user instructions inside the programs, everything is also described pretty good. So you can see here that the joints of legs 46, 47, they are orange, and the right one, 46, is more orange. It's higher a little bit. And the person was complaining more about the right leg. 41 is ovarious. The person didn't have any complaints, but the person can from now pay attention to this measurement because it's not green, it's not even yellow, it's orange. So we talk about inflammation processes. If the person repeats doing the test and this measurement shows orange, the person needs to pay attention to it. Also digestive problems, 34, 36. This is intestine, large intestine, and 36, pancreas. Then we see two blue lines which talk about some chronic processes in the cervical lymphatic nodes and spleen. We need to pay attention to these measurements. Okay, I hope everything is clear. After the webinar, if you have any questions, you can ask me all these questions. I want to explain you some difficult situations because just looking at one diagram is very easy, but I cannot show you thousands of diagrams, for example. So I want to explain you some basic ideas about different situations that you can face. When you ask the person before the testing about any complaints, these very serious diseases and problems that the person can tell you, oh, so I had problems with the heart, but I had surgery, or I was healed by some other medicine. So right now it doesn't bother me anymore, but I had it, and I want to see if this will be displayed on your rapid test. So if the person had the problem but was healed, the organ can be shown in turquoise or even in green color because we do the test and the results are shown at the moment of the testing. If the person does not have any problem with this organ and system anymore, probably it will be shown turquoise or green. It means that the system works well at the moment. The second situation, the second thing I wanted to explain to you, it's also very easy and we need to pay attention to it. Our body has adaptive reserves, and every morning there is a redistribution of energy in our body. The diseased organ also receives energy, and even more than the other organs because this organ needs it. It has some problems. The body can compensate the work of weaker organs by spreading energy to them. That's why we need to do the test repeatedly to see the repeated situations and conditions to know when we need to pay attention or one organ or another organ. Some people tell, oh, I have everything green, everything. Is it good or not? No, and let me explain you why. The test is done by different segments. So we are testing our organs and systems. All of them are different segments. When the test is done, we not only measure the organ itself. For example, eye, left and right eye. We have two eyes. We not only measure the eye and nothing else. We measure the eye segment. What does it mean? We measure the organ itself and everything which the organ is surrounded by. So the segment of the organ may include endings of the nervous systems, different hormones, spine nerves, blood vessels. Even other organs can be very close to this one and can be connected, or even the whole systems can be connected with this segment. How does it connect it with all the green lines? If the person has many green lines, but this organ or system really has a problem. Let me explain it to you. So if one segment like this has different processes going on inside of it, for example, has some chronic processes, at the same time another part of this segment has inflammation processes and some other type of processes in the body. If in the same time the segment has 2, 3, or 4 serious processes going on, inflammation, hypofunction or hyperfunction processes on it, they can repay each other in the test. So if many processes are going on in one segment, in one organ or system, they can repay each other. Our body, our brain takes responsibility for these organs and do not show us any information through electrical resistance test. Because how we measure the results? We measure them by electrical resistance. Okay. Also, when we can see everything green, but we actually know that the person can't be so good. A very big level of toxins can cover our body as a cement and also does not allow to measure electrical resistance. That is why we can see a lot of green colors, but we definitely know that the person is not healthy and has many complaints and problems. This is the answer about the green color and the bad symptoms. I hope it was clear, but basically it's very easy. You just look at the colors and what this color, which definition this color has. Do not complicate your life, please. And the last thing, if the organ is ill, but we take some sort of drugs, pills, normalizing its function, for example, we have problems with thyroids, but every day, daily, we take some pills to normalize it, or any other hormone, or we have problems with tension, but we take pills regularly and our tension is normalized. But if we stop doing this, the problem will return, because basically we just take away the symptoms. In this case, don't think that the test will show you all of this, because once the test is done at the moment that you run the test, you take pills, you're okay, everything good, and organs does its work correctly. It can sound crazy, but yes, if you take medication, you feel good and your organ works well at this moment. I'm not talking about stopping taking this medication. So that's why all the conclusion is that we need to do rapid tests in a trend. If we do it often, we will see that the same problem in some organs and systems returns every time we run the test. Some problems disappear. So this way we can see the progress using life balance device. For example, we can track the results and we can see the difference. For example, the test, the one above is made on 15th of January of this person, and the other one, which is below, is made in September. So this is the difference basically between the tests. It's very important, and in our application you can compare the results on every stage. Okay, so this was the most difficult thing about our presentation, and right now I will explain you other parts of the analysis, but it's not so difficult as the one that we have already read. So we have a spine diagram and we have an orogram. As I told before, spine diagram is a projection of the organs and systems on our vertebra. By clicking on the spine discs, either in the circles or on the spine discs themselves in the application, you can see the organ and system it's connected to, and which conclusions we may have, which consequences if we have a disc displacement in this donut. So this is like if some problem is caused by the organ, we may have a disc displacement, and by the symptoms you have, you can discover if this is true or not. An orogram is also very similar effect. An orogram is an interpretation of the report on 47 organs and systems, but in the form of a circular chart. That's all. This is the all information about orogram and spine. Chakras. This is one of my favorite pages because I like to see how my chakras develop and how I have them during different days of the week. This report allows us finding the relation between the emotional and characterological type of the tested person. By clicking on the chakras, we can see on the left on the woman. This was a test for a woman. We can see the chakras. By clicking on them, we will see if they are opened or closed or neutral, and we can read which connection it has with our organs and system. This is like a causal analysis. Every chakra defines to some organ or system. If the chakra is closed, then naturally the organs and system which related to it will be affected. This is like psychosomatic, and this is like the rule of chakra. The same way, if the organs and system are damaged, it may cause an effect on our chakras. That's why we can also see this page in our reports. And we can also do a comparison analysis, comparing our chakras with different dates of the measurement. People ask, when is it good, when the chakras are opened, neutral, or closed? Any result a part of closed and closing is good, because closed and closing chakras mean that there are some damaged organs and systems. Opened and neutral chakras are good results. I always explain that if some person has if some person, for example, has high energetic spiritual level, normally he has the chakras open. But if you are the one who, by talking to people, by helping them a lot, by being very, very social and giving all of you to everyone, if you are becomes very, very tired in the end of the day, maybe it's better to have the chakras in the neutral condition, because it is said that if the chakras are neutral, it means that you keep your energy. You breathe in and you breathe out, and your energy remains with you. If the chakra is opened, you are more probably sharing your energy with the people. We need to pay attention to this. Okay, the next page of our report. It's downloading. Okay. Probable infection. On this page, we can see viruses, helminths, protozoa, bacteria, and fungi. In this picture, I showed you comparison modes to explain you a very interesting thing. Very close to the parasites, we can see the percentage. As higher the percentage to 100, more probably it means that you have a certain type of a parasite. If it's only 30% or 20%, then probably you do not have this parasite. If it's 95, 86, 70, you need to pay attention. And how does this measurement proceed in the database? So we have more than 40,000 people clinically tested and clinically approved their health conditions, who has done the test with our device, electroresistant test. And their results were applied. It's like a big database in order to compare the results of the tests that we make right now with this 40,000 people database. So how does it work? From these 40,000 people, let's imagine that 100 people have the same results, totally the same like you do, or very similar at some points with the organs and systems. And what was the reason of having these results? Was certain type of a parasite. For example, from these 100 people, 95% had this parasite had this conclusion because of this parasite. 80% had this conclusion because of the other type of parasite. That's how it's done. That's how we calculate the percentage. On the right side, we have the comparison mode with the other test, which was made in November. The left one was made in January and the right one was made in November. And if you pay attention, there are different colors: green, blue, red. So what does it mean? The system, so that you don't need to compare and to look for different parasites and their percentage, marked with the different colors the parasites which repeat from test to test. So in these two tests, those parasites which are marked with different colors, they repeat. So you need to pay attention to those parasites because they repeat from time to time. This is the information which we need to pay attention to. The next page of our report is supposed changes. Supposed changes also gives you a lot of information so that if you don't want to be confused by it, you just do a comparison mode, you choose few of your tests and you compare the results. For example, from all this text of what can be going on in your body, just a few lines repeat. You look at these lines, you pay attention to these lines basically. It's very easy. The next page is biological age. I took the results of a different person because the person we were looking the results before has a very small difference between real and biological age. I wanted to show you a very big difference, so I found a person with a very big difference in its results. So the person had 68 the person is 68 years old, and the biological age, let's pay attention, 75. So the difference is 7 years. The aging coefficient is 1.1. So 7 years is the difference between its real age and biological age. The person had all the results very blue, not turquoise blue, very, very blue. And this person was very weak. That's why we can see how it affects on our biological age, how our organs and systems, how our organism feels like. We need to pay attention to this coefficient also. And we can see the tendency for 20 years, but this tendency is correct if our organism maintains the same as it is at the moment of the measurement. So basically, if you start looking after yourself better, treating yourself better, then these results can change and you can be 5 years younger. As one of my clients, I am so amazed this person takes care of himself so much that he's 5 years younger than his real age. And you can see it by talking to the person, by looking at the person. The next page is vitamins. So on this page, we can see the vitamins deficiency. All the vitamins which we have lack of, they are described above, and the other vitamins are more down. So basically, it's very easy. It just says normal or lack of, but we need to be careful because if even 5% of if we have lack of even just 5% out of 100, just 5% lack of the vitamin, the color will be red immediately. So we need to pay attention to this too. If everything shows red, I also had these situations. It means that the person is very blocked with toxins. It's impossible to run this to see this measurement because, as I told before, the person is just closed for electroresistant testing of the amount of toxins that the person has. So we use our life balance device, we maintain healthier lifestyle, and we repeat to do the test, and for sure it will show better results in future. Basically, these are all pages of the test. If you want to know how to run the test and how to use the interface of the program, I'm making the video instructions, which will be available very soon during this month, maybe this or the next week. You can see how to use the program. If you will have any questions about using the program, you can comment the YouTube video and we will answer to you, of course. So basically, to come up with, I want to talk about the web wellness, about its importance for us nowadays as some sort of high intelligent health product. Just having this small machine as Life Expert or Life Expert Profi, and the other one which is even smaller, Life Balance device for treatment, within a minute we can do a rapid test measuring everything we were talking about for like almost 1 hour already. The results are being sent to the server of the company, and very fast, just in a few seconds, you can read your report. And at the same time, just less than 1 minute takes to download an automatic individual complex due to the test results on your Life Balance device to maintain yourself well and healthy. Because health is the most important sphere for us in this life. You can tell, no, I'm totally into career. I want to earn a lot of money, and I work all day long without rest. I will treat my health later. But without health, you can't really dedicate you to your favorite business project. Without health, you can't enjoy the spare time with your family, with your couple, and you can't enjoy the luxury and wealthy life if you're not healthy. So we need to take care of our health and use our WebWellness technologies, which are represented with Life Balance, Life Expert devices, and also our new Life Watch device, which is a wellness watch, and Life Animal device for our small friends. Thank you so much for your attention. K Vyshemirska has finished her speech. If anybody has any questions due to presentation, this is the time to ask your questions. Maybe I do not know the answers to all of them, but it's not a problem. I can find it out. And once the video is posted to the YouTube channel of the company, you can ask it in the comments, because maybe it will be interesting for other people, or here you can see my contact information, so you can contact me directly and talk to me about our technology. Thank you very much. Looking forward for your questions. You can just write them here in the message line below if somebody has questions. Okay. I really hope that this webinar was very interesting for you. I tried to give you as much information as I could preparing this webinar, and I will continue doing webinars. I think that we can talk about many different topics, and below the videos on YouTube, you can ask some questions or propose the topics which would you like to hear in the next webinars. For example, the pH topic is very interesting. The information I told you about the importance of pH is just few lines, but this topic is very huge as well. Maybe you are interested in making one webinar just for this one. Maybe you have any other ideas. You are welcome to describe them to me, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. Have a good one.